Hey everyone, it is late at night and I'm Norman. It has happened again. So this is twice recently that two fellow watch nerd YouTubers have been victims of something nefarious. I don't normally make videos like this when things occur online because I don't usually have a whole lot to add. But in this case, I actually have some advice that I encountered way after I started my channel that I wish I knew at the very outset, and it doesn't just pertain to YouTube. This could be something that is useful for all of you. So let me explain. So a bit ago, Miguel over at SoCal Watch Reviews had his channel compromised. It wasn't really hacked. This is more akin to a phishing scam where they trick you into clicking a link and filling out information that gives them access to your account. And recently something very similar has happened to Mirrly of Mirrly on Time, who I'm sure most of you already know. And if you don't, there's links to his channel and SoCal Watch Reviews in the show notes below. You should go over there and give them some love. But after this happened to Mirrly, I was going to make this very video that same day, offering the advice that I had encountered well later than I wish I had. But in preparation to that video, I watched his live stream that he did and realized that the situation that he was in, and probably Miguel, is a little bit different, and my advice probably wouldn't have helped. So first, I'm going to offer my piece of advice, and then we'll talk about their situation. So yeah, once again, this doesn't just pertain to YouTube. It's actually anything. Anytime that you're going to be creating an account with something that could become large, whether that's social media or whatever, if you anticipate that you may end up with a lot of people following it, or if it's a hobby or something where you could end up making some money at that, potentially even making a living at it, those are scenarios where you want to do this. So when you're setting it up, you want to create two different email accounts. Create one that is strictly for logging into that account. So if it's YouTube, and we're reversing time and I'm starting my channel knowing what I know now, I would have created two accounts. I would have created one that I would log into YouTube with, and that is it. Nothing else whatsoever. And then the second email address is for correspondence. That's the one that I use when I'm chatting with people or receiving emails from other companies or whatever. That way, no one knows your login email. Any messages you receive there, you pretty much can ignore because you just never use it. You'll probably, ideally, just be getting notifications from Google or whoever your account is with. This way, if your correspondence one gets compromised, you still have your hobby, your channel, whatever it is. Maybe you're a photographer, and you've signed up to one of those sites where you can post your photos and sell them, you still have that email intact. You'll just have to create a new correspondence email. So you'll notice that in the show notes below, my email address is different. That is the only address from here on out that I will be corresponding with. But this wouldn't have really helped in the scenario that Mirrly found himself in. Because what happened there was he received a message about a potential partnership. There was a link in there where you can choose the products that you're going to show in your channel. And when you select that, it wants you to verify your channel ownership by logging in. And what's nefarious about this is that is not actually uncommon. For example, I decided I was going to try and build an email client app a while ago. And the first thing I had to do was set up my Google Gmail API so that in my app, when you try and add an email account, it will do everything for me. So you would click add account. Once you put in your Gmail address, it would pop up a dialog asking you to log into your Gmail account. So it's actually kind of all over the place. You can sign into different things with your Gmail account versus creating an account with them. So unfortunately, if you took my advice and had 2 different email accounts, this is still a scenario where you could get tricked into logging in with your login only email address, thinking it's legitimately confirming that you're the channel owner. So this was a very tricky scam. And in those scenarios, there's a couple different things that you can do. One, definitely look at the email address you received it from. I think after all the dust settled, if I remember correctly, Mirrly went and double checked the email address that it came from, and it was very suspicious. So that's the first thing you could do. Make sure the email looks legitimate. And secondly is just be suspicious of anything like that. Anytime you're asked to provide any kind of information, maybe stop and investigate the company a bit. This is something that was a little bit scary when I was unemployed because I had to apply to a lot of different places. And there was a few times where I would get emails for job opportunities, stuff like that. And I kind of started getting paranoid. So anytime that stuff would come through, I had to take the time to look up the company, see if it was actually a real company, because yeah, things could have gotten bad. So yeah, anytime you're going to start anything that could potentially grow pretty large online, I would do the 2 email thing, and any kind of offers that come through or anything like that, just double check everything, because scams are really sophisticated. This is not Mirrly or Miguel not paying attention. This is scammers being really, really tricky. But yeah, I'm glad that both of them have their channels back. Mirrly's live video has some excellent information on getting your channel back when stuff like that happens and explaining what had happened. And he gives full credit to Miguel, who was a huge help in letting him do that. And again, this isn't just a YouTube thing. This isn't anything online thing. So be careful out there. And thanks for watching.